Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Coach's Corner. I'm Eric Mosley and I'm joined today by Coach Corey Chapman, offensive line coach for Harding.
Yes.
And let's talk about the big victory. Harding wins 23-20 over Newark. What were your first impressions of that win?
First impressions were that we started fast, like we have 2 of the last 3 games, and we found a way to win. We pushed ourselves to the edge, and we finally took that leap of faith, and we got that victory.
Now, Newark came in kind of the same situation, hadn't had much success coming into that game. Did you guys feel like you would be able to handle them pretty easy, or were you kind of worried about the attack that they brought?
Well, we were a little worried about the guys up front. We thought we definitely could get to the edge and let our athletes be athletes, speed be speed. And when we got out there, we pushed them around, we bullied them a little bit, and I think that gave our guys more confidence as the game went on. And we had that little delay, and I think that kind of changed everything, and we hurt ourselves, but we were able to push through for the victory.
So talk about that delay. I mean, last Friday was a weird night for pretty much everybody playing in high school football in Central Ohio. When you get a delay like that, I mean, you guys were in the second quarter, you were playing really well. Then you have almost a 2-hour delay. How do you keep the guys focused on the game, as they're just sitting in the locker room?
Well, that was a real tough situation for us because we were playing so well and everything. We told the guys we try to keep them focused, but as the time went on and on, it's like beating a dead horse. Like, hey guys, come on, let's do this, do that, get off your feet and everything. But after a while, it was just, we're going to treat it like the opening of a game again. Go out, do warm-ups, and kick off, let's start again.
Now, did it give you some time to really work on some adjustments early in that game since you had all that time?
Yes, we started to realize what they were doing that was giving us problems and make those adjustments to attack them.
So Dominic Ayers had a pretty good night, 168 yards rushing. From what I could see, I mean, he runs well anyways, but really off tackle, he seemed to be really strong. Is that where you want to try to use him mostly, is running off tackle?
Yes and no. We want to get him out in space, but he is also a runner that between the tackles for us is just as good. So our plan, we just want to give him the ball and let him do his job.
And then Dylan Swint, 68 yards. One thing I noticed with him, ran inside the tackles real well. Really, I think that just talks to the offensive line. Since you're the offensive line coach, what did you see this week in this game that really looked like, something that you really were happy at how they were doing?
Well, from the beginning of the season, we made as a staff, an effort to get our offensive line strong and be physical. We made an effort to do that, and throughout this season so far, they've been our most dynamic unit, and we put more on them this week. We were like, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run behind you guys. It's up to you.
Now, this week also, penalties played a big part in this game. 2 offsides penalties early on D. What do you think contributed to that? Was it just over-eagerness, especially on defense, or did you just find that, it was just one of those weeks?
Well, I think a little bit of both. Being over jealous to get something started and being undisciplined. Any flag you get, yes, there's some flags that you just can't help it. It's a matter of the position you're in. But the offsides, some of the holdings, these are things that when you get tired and you're not really focused, those start to manifest. And if we continue to do that, it's going to bite us on the tight games. And this week it didn't, but down the road it could.
Now, the defense looked really good. The offense for Newark is very similar to what you guys run here at Harding. to try to spread out the defense and whatnot. I noticed a lot of blitzes up the middle to try to disrupt. Was that just part of the game plan this week, to try to disrupt through blitzes up the middle?
Yes, we wanted to try to get the quarterback's eyes on the blitz, okay? And if his eyes are on the blitz, it's not on the receivers. Mm-hmm. And we feel up front, our front 7, 8 guys can get the job done.
And then, of course, Blevins this week, just another really good week. 18 of 29, 155 yards, 1 touchdown. Ran the ball well, was finding receivers. He throws a really good intermediate pass. What is the X factor that Blevins brings to this offense?
I think the strong arm, definitely. But when we give him time, he's able to find those receivers and get the ball to them.
And then also he seems to find ways to extend the plays. The offensive line did a great job of protecting him. Are there times where you kind of worry about him wanting to take off a little bit too soon, or has he done a good job of really trying to pick and choose?
I think he's done a good job of when to pick and choose. That's where film comes, film and trust of the guys up front that they're going to do their job allows you to have that comfort in timing. And I think when you try to run too soon, it throws your timing off. You're not looking down at the receivers or anything like that. So I think just the film that we watch, making those adjustments week after week, day after day, helps them.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll go over some of the highlights from the game. You are watching Coach's Corner. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. We're joined again by Coach Corey Chapman. And Coach, lots of highlights to go through, so let's go ahead and get to them.
All right, let's do it. All right, first highlight, we'll get a nice run by Dylan Swint. Then we got a nice pass from Blevins to Trey Davis for a big pickup for the Presidents.
It seems like the receivers do a good job of coming back to the ball.
Yes, oh yes. We got a nice swing pass here to DeAndre Ayers, making big things happen with good blocks from our receivers and linemen. Next play, we got a nice run by DeAndre as well, taking off. Getting to the sideline. Got to break that tackle.
You guys like using that jet sweep quite a bit, don't you?
Oh, yes. Here it comes again. We got the jet from Cap, who takes it. Should have got in there, but we'll take it. We back to a pass from Blevins to Trey Davis again. All right, here we go. Another jet sweep to Cap.
This was a nice game.
Oh, it was a big game. One block away. One block away. Then another big run here by DeAndre Ayers right up the middle. Tough yards. That's what we talk about, the tough yards. Then we got Tobias here. Tito breaking tackles. Not going down.
You guys have about 3 guys you can run on that jet sweep, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And we just let them get loose. Now another pass here. This is to Jacob Hoffman. A crucial play. Good catch. And then we try to get set real fast. Then we'll have another play here. Nice pass from Blevins to Trey Davis here as he scrambles. So not there, guys. Work for our quarterback here. We got a holding call here. They weren't going to let Trey get loose. Then a tough run here by Dylan Swint here. Like I said, he gets between the tackles. And this play, Justin Bentley with his first touchdown of the season.
Now, did you find like the middle of their defensive line just kind of had some soft spots?
Yes, we decided to attack them where they were trying to attack us. And like here, we got another big run from DeAndre Ayers, running our guys over. That one got called back, so what do? Give him the ball again. Let Ayers get loose. Tough yards. We're still going. And this connection was good all night. Blevins to Trey Davis, making things happen on the long. I think that was third down. Then here we get tough yards from Dylan Swint. He actually breaks it, and when he gets going, he's hard to bring down. And then you know what we got here. When we call his name, Cap gets the ball, he takes off. And this was his first varsity touchdown of his career.
Now, that was actually right at the delay.
Yeah.
When they went ahead and delayed the game from the Lightning.
Yep.
At this point, you guys are cruising pretty well.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had to.
And we had to have a stop there. It was a defensive stop here by Harding's defense here. We've shown a lot of offensive highlights there, but now we got some defensive ones. We got Torrey Taylor here. Great defensive stop by him. And then here, when the offense needed the defense, we had Lance Roberts with a strip, and DeAndre Ayers once again picking up a fumble, returning it for a touchdown.
Final score: Presidents 23, Wildcats 20. Again, a lot of great highlights there. One thing that I think anybody watching would have noticed is your offense just likes to run at a fast pace, that hurry-up offense. Mm-hmm. I'm sure early in the season, especially the first couple of weeks, it's hard to get that rhythm going, but it seemed like this week you guys really had it.
Yes. Like you said, it was hard to get it going, and we told the offense from the beginning, we're going fast no matter what. Putting pressure on the defense to have to keep their guys out there. We believe we're conditioned to do it, where defense, they can't practice that during the week, and that tempo on Friday nights, it'll wear defense down, and that's what we're trying to do.
So you feel like it's finally to the point where you wanted it to be, maybe at the start of the season it just wasn't there, but now it's getting there?
Yes, and it's one of those where when you run the ball good, you're completing those intermediate passes, they allow the offense to get a flow. And I think from the first 2 weeks, we weren't in that flow, so the tempo was affected by it.
That's pretty obvious, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a few player interviews. You are watching Coach's Corner. Welcome back to Coach's Corner, and right now we are joined by Torrey Taylor and Caden Morris, a couple of the cornerbacks for the team. And we'll start with you, Torrey. What is your favorite part about playing cornerback?
I just like the isolation you have and just the competitiveness. And I like going up and hitting people, and I like guarding people like him, making them look bad.
There we go. What about you, Caden?
I just like not allowing their wide receiver to catch the ball and just having them on lockdown the whole game. It's just like good to know you have like a certain dominance over a wide receiver, just knowing that you're there.
Mm-hmm. So obviously with this defense, you guys are playing a lot of man, and even in high school, we don't see a lot of high school teams playing man. So that's a lot of pressure on you guys. Is there anything that you did in the off season, getting ready and workouts and things to try to prepare for, that kind of task?
Well, you really just have to stay in shape, and you have to know what you're doing too also. So that's really it, man.
A lot of one-on-one drills.
A lot of footwork too.
Mm-hmm.
And just learning how to guard your man close up and staying with him on his hip.
Now, do the 7-on-7s help during the summer too?
Yeah.
In getting that? Okay.
Get you a better look at what it's going to be like when they throw the ball towards you in man-to-man coverage.
Okay. So you guys talk about wanting to be physical out there, and a lot of times, you don't always see the cornerback coming up and making hits. But again, on your guys' defense, the way you guys play defense, you're kind of required to come up and help on the run. What is more fun to you, when you can knock down a pass or make a big hit?
To me, personally, the best part of football is hitting them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I like going up to get a ball or knocking the ball down, but I think just going up and hitting them is the best part.
Okay.
I definitely like hitting, but I'd say my best thing is probably like deflecting passes and probably just like picking off passes.
Okay.
It's just what I'm best at. I do enjoy hitting a little more. I'm just not the best at it.
So one of the keys to playing corner is trying to read the receiver. Is there something you look for when the receiver's lining up? Try to get an idea pre-snap of what they may be doing.
Just like gauging their speed. Like you gotta, after the first rep, you gotta know like who your wide receiver is and how fast he is, and just basing off routes that he can run depending on his speed and judging him off that, and that'll determine how you guard him for the rest of the game.
Right. You also look at their splits, how wide they are, possible routes they could run, how fast they are, which way the quarterback is looking. It's just.
Now, are you guys playing where you keep an eye on the quarterback, or is it all on the receiver?
It depends on what coverage. Like if it's man, you're locked in.
Okay. Because I know there's been tendency, especially when I used to coach, I would always tell my wide receivers when they were in zone, make sure you're watching the quarterback a little bit. But when we'd switch to man, they still wanted to look at the quarterback, and it was like, no, you're going to get burnt. Have you ever found yourself, kind of falling back into that, or are you pretty good at keeping focus?
Both have.
Yeah, we both done that.
Yeah.
It happens.
Times.
It's just something you got to work on.
Yeah. It happens the best. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It just work.
So the defense is, you guys have only had one win this year, but the defense has played pretty well, I think, overall. I mean, a couple big plays here and there. What is the attitude on this defense that makes it work so well?
I mean, just being aggressive, like at every position, winning your 111th.
Right.
If you can win your matchup, then you're gonna make a stop.
Just gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah. And then talk about your coaches. You guys play in the secondary. What have your coaches taught you that you've really taken with you this year?
Lawrence just, when I got burnt in the game, he just said, make sure you look at your guy.
Mm-hmm.
And just I don't really know. You tell me.
Just like basic coverage things that we need to,
that's
that
really
every great corner in the NFL and college uses. that might seem like little kid stuff, but in reality, that's like the foundation of what you need to know to be a good corner.
Yeah. Well, Coach Lawrence, I know when he played was pretty intense, and I can just imagine what he's like as a coach.
Very good coach.
So you guys are juniors. This senior class has talked about how they've really worked hard to try to make this team, be a family. What are your thoughts on how this team has developed as a family?
I feel like we're pretty close. We're
Definitely closer than years past.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
hasn't been like this at least until this year. Like the first 2 years I was here, it wasn't as close as we are now. Now it's just a lot more. We're all having
we're
like,
basically a
same thoughts.
family. We're having fun doing our thing.
And now you're getting into league play. Still a lot to play for. Tell me about what you're looking forward to with league play coming up.
Rivalries, Pleasant, RV, do our thing.
I'm just trying to beat everyone. I just want to win every
Just
game.
Keep going.
And get the league title, right?
Do my job.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, well, guys, thanks for joining us today, and obviously, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be back with more on Coach's Corner. Welcome back to Coach's Corner, and Coach Chapman, we're into the league play now, and this is what you guys have really been looking forward to. And tell us a little bit about just, what you guys are looking at for the MOAC this year.
Well, years past, it's been a run-dominant league where it's smash mouth, but with Clear Fork, Ontario, now Shelby, and ourselves starting to see it spread out a little bit, putting your athletes in space. Our goal has always been to win the conference, and now it's time.
And you talk about it's turning into a little bit more passing league. I know Galleon right now has a couple of the top receivers in the league.
Yes.
You talk about Shelby; they like to air it out. Do you think, we talked about the defense earlier, play a lot of man. Is that going to be a bigger challenge for them getting into league play, you think?
For us as a defense, I don't think so. We have the athletes, the skilled people there. They wouldn't be on defense if they weren't. And the defensive staff has put the right combination of kids on the field to make us the best defense. We are the best defense in the conference.
There you go.
Yep.
And he said it here. Just remember that. The best defense in the conference. All right, this week, big cross-county rivalry with Pleasant starting the league play. They're undefeated on the season. They've had a couple big wins already. When you look at this Pleasant team, what stands out to you right away?
The guys up front. And those guys, they maul people up front, and that's on both sides of the ball. Defensive line, they're a little smaller, but they're using those guys to shoot gaps, slant right, slant left, those different things, trying to get penetration to blow everything up. They have a great running back in Blue Ball, and I think he's their school's leading rusher.
All-time leading rusher,
All-time leading rusher there. So they have the kids there. And behind the big offensive line, you see what they've been able to do.
And you talk about Blue Ball and his speed. Do you feel like if you can kind of isolate everyone else, I mean, when you face a really good back, sometimes you kind of think, okay, we're going to try to stop him as best we can, but one guy can't beat us. do you kind of go into this game thinking something like that, and if we can isolate everyone else, he may get his yards, but they have to try to win as a team?
It is a team game, and we talk about do your job, do your 111. I think our mindset offensively is to run the ball, throw the ball, be fast, our tempo. Defensively, I've watched a little of their film of the offense. No one they faced has hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think for us, we're going to hit them. Let's hit. That's what you play defense for. Like you had Torrey on there, he likes to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they know that at Pleasant, being a local school close enough, everybody knows everybody. So they know these things. And a couple years ago, we hit them in the mouth, and in a way, it's almost like they started to fold. And it's us. It's us against them. We can't hurt ourselves. And if we don't hurt ourselves, we do our job, we'll come out victorious.
And facing the cross-county rivalry, they're just good for the sport to have those rivalries. Pleasant brings in a lot of experience, but also that tradition. But Harding's got a lot of tradition too. Do you feel like that fan base for both sides is just going to make it an atmosphere that's just amazing?
Oh yes, I believe that atmosphere, like you said, both fans, the tradition, the fans being close to the field, just gives you that. That's what Friday night football is about. Getting the best out of each other.
And do you feel like the season really starts now? You went through your non-league schedule, you got through that, but does the season really start this week?
The new season, yes.
Yeah.
This is the conference season, and like you said earlier, everything's still out in front of us. The goal to be conference champ starts now. So that's our goal.
There you go. All right. Well, I think it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see it. And, Coach Chapman, I appreciate you coming and being on with us.
Not a problem.
And feel free to come back whenever you want.
Will do.
All right. Thanks again for joining us on Coach's Corner. Remember, you can watch this on YouTube, on Harding Telecom's channel. And also, don't miss the game this Friday, Pleasant and Harding. It's going to be a big one. Thanks for joining us again. You have been watching Coach's Corner.